Thank you. Everybody familiar with Steve Jobs? Okay, Steve Jobs, at the time of his death, he was worth about Steve Jobs, he was worth about $7 billion. $7 billion. How many people in here would trade places with him right now? Well, nobody. And the simple fact of what I'm saying is, your health is priceless. It's not even worth $7 billion. I do a lot of talking. I talk a lot of different places, and when I do, I ask the question like, what is health, right? And people say, it means to feel good. It means I want to lose weight. I want to have more energy. I want to do all these different things. Less pain, sleep better, all these different things. And then the next question, I'll see him again, because Chicago is quite a small circle. So if I see you once, I'll probably see you again somewhere in fashion. And that's the same question, what is health? But I don't want that anymore. And what happens is, I found out as we get older, scarcity creeps in. As we get older, what happens is you've given up on what's possible. See what I'm saying? And you might as well just say that I've given up. And we all know that anything is possible, right? So I was reading a lot lately about hope. And so what I've titled myself, and this is my first introduction of it, is I'm the hope dealer. I'm passing out hope. That's right. I'm a hope dealer. Because I see a lot of people, they're pushing drugs. The medical system says do this, do that, do this. It's everything's right here, but anything is possible. You just got to believe. So the question should be, what do I need to do to get better, right? Not how can I take care of this pain, or how can I lose weight? What can I do to be healthier should be the question. And so that's the question I'll pose to everybody here today. So when you think about that, it makes me think about when I was growing up. I'm from North Carolina, born and raised. So in North Carolina, we have carports. We don't have garages because it does get us cold. And I remember working and staying with my grandmother in the summertime and sitting outside of that carport, and we'd be eating watermelons. And one of the things when we eat watermelon, flies would come around. And so as kids, we were my sisters and cousins. We would be swatting these flies, and we couldn't get it. And my grandmother, Eunice, would sit there with her wisdom, and she had that 1-2. She had that fly swatter. And she would just wham, and she would kill like 2 at a time. And one day she pulled us over to the side, and she said, baby, let me tell y'all something. If you want to get the job done, you got to have the right tools. And so what I'm here to tell you today is that you have all the tools that you need to be absolutely healthy. So everybody's outside looking for this magic thing that they can put in their bodies, they can take inside, they can do all these things. You have it within you right now. Well, my job is to help you to realize that as a chiropractor. So people say, well, you deal with back pain and knee pain and aches and all these things like that. Well, if you understand how the body works, you understand how the body heals. And it's very simple. So I want to paint a picture in the next about 5 or so minutes just to explain that to you. So number one thing, the very first organ in the body, we all know how babies are made, right? So everybody understands that process, right? So about 8 weeks after that conception happens, what's the very first organ develop in the body? Anybody? Huh? Brain, the brain. And off the brain controls everything. The brain gives extensions to the spinal cord, right? And then you have spinal nerves that come off and go to everything in the body. Everything in the body is completely dependent on that brain. The brain controls everything. It uses the spine like a river, and it sends energy down to every single organ, cell, tissue in your body is completely dependent on that. Now, we do stuff in life that cause a vertebrae to shift or lose the curves. It's things that happen all of a sudden, like car accidents, and things that happen gradually over the course of time, like stuff when the muscles wear down. And what happens in that process is whatever those nerves supply, wherever that shift happens, starts to get weak and degenerate and cause other diseases. Now, you might not have any pain when this happens at all. You might not feel anything. And then the next thing what happens, it distorts your posture. So it makes the head go forward, the shoulders round. And then it makes the entire spine weak. And it starts to degenerate and collapse. That's why seniors, what happens when they get weak, what happens? They start doing this.
Yes.
Next thing you know, you're leaning on something. Next thing you know, you're sitting in something. And God forbid, knock on wood, that you're not landing anything anytime soon. And so what happens from that point, what I do as a chiropractor is I remove pressure. It's the simplest way to put it. So when you have pressure on that nerve and whatever it's supplying, so it might be nerves that come off your neck that go down into your hands, and you might have numbness and tingling in your hands. If you sit in front of a computer long periods of time. Or you might have pain, that famous pain that runs down the back of the leg. And if you don't have it, all you just got to do is live a little bit. I'm 42 and I've had it. But when you learn how to remove the pressure, which is caused by inflammation, you can actually restore the pain. But that doesn't mean the joint is healthy. So we have to strengthen the joint. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so what I do is I specialize in removing that pressure. Now, we had a lot of great speakers here, a lot of great products. One thing that I know, you can take anything, but if your body has pressure on it, there's no way that it can function properly, and there's no way that you can heal properly. So before you do anything, what I want you to do is I want you to think about removing any kind of pressure that's on your body so that you can function at the best way that you can. What I've designed is a phenomenal functional fitness exam. What it is not an exam that you get a piece of paper, you go to a doctor's office, and he gives you a diagnosis. We check you out, we just have a conversation, and you go on your way. That doesn't separate me from anybody else. What it is where we go in and we check your posture. I'm going to find out where the weakest point is. The thing what happens with me is a lot of people don't put everything down on the sheet. But when they leave out of my office, they realize that they got more concerns than they thought. I forgot to tell you about the knee, Dr. Artis. I forgot to tell you about this hip right here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how far you can move and bend and flex. There's certain movements that you need to be able to do for the rest of your life. And some of us haven't been able to do it in like 20 years. I've watched people walk in. You know, I got that trained eye. For doing this for over 13 years, you see what is wrong with people automatically. And then what we're going to do from that, we're going to do a range of motion. We're going to do a postural exam. We're going to also do a palpation exam, a consultation. That's not it. What I'm also going to throw in there is one x-ray if necessary, right? Now I'm not going to throw something else in there as well. What I'm going to throw in there as well is I'm going to also throw a 15-minute consultation with our registered dietitian that we have in office. Masters in Public Health, this girl is Sharp, and she helps manage chronic conditions. Now I'm going to throw also a 10-minute chair massage in there for our massage therapist. Now, if you went to any one of these hospitals, Rush, anywhere like that, and you got one exam, how much would it cost? $1,000, $500. You got all these things right here. I'm doing it today for just $45 even. You can't beat it. It's not even about me, but what I see and what I'm tired of seeing is people breaking down and ignoring the fact that the warning signs are there, and then they're going and getting pumped up full of medications, and then they're more concerned about getting their dresses for summers and weddings, and then they're more so concerned about all these different things and sleeping and all these different things, and they're breaking their bodies down. We need to create a culture. I came here tonight to push the health culture forward, all right? I came to give you hope. One thing I wanted to say is this, and I'll end on this note. There was this lion, and there was a zebra. They were all in the jungle, and the zebra had some babies. And the babies are laying around. They said, you know, Mommy, we just want to lay here so comfortable right here. You know, we don't have to worry about anything. Mama, can we just lay under you? Oh, Mama's like, get up and run, boys and girls, get up and run. They're like, nah, Mom, we tired our legs. We just were born about 2-3 weeks ago. We just want to chill. She said, get up and run, children, get up and run. And then what happens, they said, why, Mama? She said, because the lion is coming. And guess what the lion is? Cancer, stroke, heart disease. It's all these different things that we're all going to be encountered with if you haven't been already. So my thing is, whether you're a lion or a zebra, you better get to running. My table is right over here. I'll be able to answer any of your questions and anything else. Thank you, the Hope Dealer.